Hello, Mat One crew. Today I want to talk about your phone holder project or device holder project and your Onshape drawing and how you're going to submit that to Schoology as part of your grade. Now, there's going to be two ways we're going to be submitting things. One is going to be through a drawing, and you've already done one before for the keychain activity. So we're going to do something very similar to that. However, there's a few things that I need you to be aware of when it comes to dimensioning and also just the paper size and submitting that to Schoology. So let's talk about how this should look. For what you're going to submit to Schoology for your drawing itself, I should see all the features of your phone holder as well as the lines for where the bends are going to be located. Remember, you have to have a way to charge your device or whatever it would be, as well as a cutout, some way to personalize it. So I put a little lightning bolt here as for referencing charging my phone. So that's what I have going on for this project. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just check mark or give this the green check mark to verify that I am done. I don't have anything else I need to do for this project. And we're going to create a drawing. Now, you should or may have a drawing at the bottom of your options when it comes to Onshape, but you also may not. And so let's go ahead and take care of that now. So if you hit the plus sign, you're going to hit Create Drawing. And you get two options when it comes to your paper size. These are the default options. Typically, we usually work in ANSI A, but for today, I want to go ahead and switch that up to ANSI B. So I want to make sure that's selected, and you're going to hit OK. This just gives us a larger piece of paper to put our drawing on. So with ANSI A, it would be too small to actually insert our sketch. As soon as I open this up, you'll see that our name already appears here. The date also appears. So we're good there. We only just need to go ahead and add the sketch and dimension it. So I'm going to go ahead and click on my sketch. It's going to allow me to place this in my drawing. However, if you notice how small it is and our paper is so much bigger, we're going to go ahead and change the scale of this to 1:1. And it doesn't matter what your design looks like, everybody's drawing will be able to fit in their paper 1:1. So go ahead and make sure that's done first. Once I click that, it'll place it on my paper. Now I'm going to go ahead and dimension. If you look on Schoology, there are a few things that I request you to dimension. The overall length of your device holder. So we're going to go ahead and dimension the length of this. The overall width of the device holder, as well as the distance between bends, where my lines are located. So we'll do that as well. And measurements for any openings for a charging cord. So this is one of my openings, as well as this opening right here. And then I also need to make sure that I have a measurement at least one of the radiuses that it would be, if this is applicable to your design. You know, I have some corners here that are rounded, so I'm going to go ahead and dimension one or two of these so that way I can see what that looks like. So let's go ahead and talk about the dimension tool now. This is located at the top of your screen. You'll see it kind of looks like a default icon for a dimension. There's several different types of dimensions that we can do based on what we would need to do here in this class. The primary one that we're going to deal with, though, is that dimension, the general dimension tool. We might use the line-to-line dimension tool as well as that radial dimension tool. But those are really the only three that we're going to be focusing on here for this project. So I'm going to start out with just the normal dimension tool. If that's not already selected, you can go ahead and select that. And the first thing I'm going to do is I want to dimension from the very corner here, which you can see is still selected or still able to be seen. And this would just be where those two lines would have intersected prior to that radius. So I'm going to go ahead and left click on that corner, and then I'm also going to left click on this corner, and that's going to give me my overall length of my device holder here. I'm also going to do the same thing for the width to show the width of my device holder, because remember, these were my max sizes, right? I had 3 inches wide by 12 inches in length, and so that tells me that you met the criteria for that part of the design. I also want to measure where my bends are going to be located, and this is going to help me to grade your projects when it comes to your physical project and comparing that to your drawing that you're submitting on Schoology. I'll be able to see, were you accurate with where you placed your bends. So we're going to go ahead and just click on this bend line to the bottom edge of our device holder, and I'm going to go ahead and dimension that as well. I'm also going to place a dimension between the bends, give me another measurement, and I like my measurements to line up so that they're in the same plane with each other. And then I also need to do one for right here because this is where a bend is going to be located as well. So I'm going to go ahead and dimension from these two distances, and I want that measurement to be again in the same lineup as the other two. So I have those three ready to go. So those are all my bends that are going to take place. Now I need to go ahead and measure the opening for my charging cord. So the opening would be this distance here, as well as this width here. I would need to know that. Oops. Sometimes you can get yourself in trouble with dimensioning, so if you ever find yourself measuring something or dimensioning something you didn't want to, just hit escape. And we'll try that one more time. So we have a 1/2 inch by inch opening here. I also have an opening here. So it's a 1/4 inch wide, and it's 2 inches in length. That is without the radiuses at the end. But we know that this is going to be a 1/4 inch radius because we have an opening of a 1/4 inch here. And so we don't have to worry about dimensioning that. So I am going to dimension one more thing though, and that's going to be using our radial dimension tool. And I'm going to click on the corner here, and I'm going to dimension this so I know how big of a radius this is before we even cut this out. So that's what I'm looking for when it comes to your drawing in Onshape. And then at this point, we can go ahead and submit this to Schoology. So as a reminder to you, how do we submit this to Schoology? You're going to be printing it, but you're going to be printing it as a PDF. So if you click up by your file name, you'll see the 3 lines there. You can go ahead and hit print. It'll show up in a new screen, and at that point, you can go ahead and hit the print icon and save it as a PDF. And this is what you'll then submit to Schoology. If you have any questions about this submission process, or even just using the dimension tools, please feel free to ask, whether it's me or an intern that's in the room, and we'd be happy to help you out. Again, this is going to be the first part of the submission. Once you have this done, then what you're going to do is you're going to call me over to check your drawing. I'm going to actually delete these lines for where your bends are going to be located and save a separate file that will be cut out on the laser. So if you have any questions about that, let me know, and I'll be happy to answer that for you.